At 5, Green Bay City Council President Brian Johnson announces he will not seek re-election. In a lengthy post on Facebook, Johnson says he's stepping down to allow opportunities for new ideas as well as a desire to spend more time with family. Johnson served on the council for 8 years, succeeding Alderman Guy Zima in District 9 back in 2018. In his post, Johnson highlights numerous achievements during his tenure, like securing a lease with the Packers and attracting investments like Green Bay Packaging. Several people have already announced plans to try to fill his seat, such as Michael Brzezinski, Tarl Knight, and Ben DeBaker.